Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel that loves a challenge. I'm your host, Zanovox, also known as I Just Realized It's No Nut November today. Hopefully you guys are having a great day and staying away from those cashews. We'll go ahead and get started here momentarily. I think I'm all set up on my side, so I shall bug on. If you're new to the channel, make sure to like, sub, share, follow, all of that good stuff. Helps the channel grow, and for all of you returning viewers, I'm just opening up a can of cranberry juice. Don't mind me. If all of you guys are anybody new to the channel, like, sub, share, all that good stuff, helps the channel grow. And for all of you returning viewers, thank you once again for taking the time out of your day to come see me. Anyway, yeah, I don't really have any big announcements or anything. Today is Wednesday, tomorrow's Thursday. I don't think I have anything going on, so we should be good. Anyway. Hello, welcome back. How are you doing today? Eight badges, 31 Pokemans. Oh man, it's gonna be a good one. I think this should be, I think, one of our last or second to last days of grinding. I am doing alright. It has been a pretty long day at work, been a bit busy, but other than that, I am doing fantastic. Just getting ready to sit down for a few hours of grinding, that's all. Then we'll officially, I think, either tomorrow, either late today. If it late today, most likely I may get to the front of, like, the Elite Four and not actually take them on. Or I'll just grind and grind and grind today, and we'll see what comes from that. So, finally, the hot October ended. Yep, that it did. You know, October's one of those months. October is actually my favorite month. Let me freaking mess with this model, because for some odd reason it is not resetting the positions properly. There we go. Perfect. But yeah, October is my favorite month of the year. I don't know about anybody else, but I enjoy it just because it's, you know, it's where my birthday is and a bunch of other stuff. Nice month to me, but funnily enough, I have realized that I now have 3 viewers that are from the Netherlands recently. It's really weird. Not that I think it's weird I have viewers from the Netherlands. I think it's just a crazy coincidence that the 3 places that I have the most viewers from are the US, followed by Italy, followed by the Netherlands. Yeah, this is our TM dude. Lemon Party. November's gonna suck? Why do you say November's gonna suck? I mean, November's a pretty good month. It's going into the cold season. Get a lot of leaves falling all over the place. Here in America, Turkey Day is coming up. I mean, I think I have Veterans Day coming up, which is going to be super nice, because I think that's going to be on a Friday, which means I think we're off. Or maybe it's a minimal manning. Or maybe it's observed on Monday. I don't know. Either way, it means that I'm going to be able to go ahead and take some time off, so that'll be nice. Holy fuck. Man, I wish I could have caught that on camera. I just watched a hawk go ahead and, like, snatch a bird right out of the air. Outside of my window. Your parents will probably wait for you after school? Why is that? Did you do something wrong? Did you get yourself in trouble, or you guys just going somewhere? You're a good girl. You don't need to, like, you're okay. You don't need to feel like you're a nuisance or anything. You're alright, girl. It's okay. Yeah, come here. I'll give you a pet seat. I know, you're just worried about, you're just thinking you're in the way, but I'll give you a pet, girl. Alright. Also, I just thought of a fantastic, like, thing that I'm going to go ahead. I think I'm going to put in a pet your dog reward, so that if you guys turn it in, I will pet my dog for 10 seconds. Because of the cold? So your parents are going to be waiting for you after school because of the cold? I mean, that's fine, hell. Man, that would have been great if I would have had my dad picking me up after school. Like, waiting for me with a nice hot car. Shit. That'd have been great. No, you got lucky. Your parents... My dad was there for me, but just not in the physical way a lot of times. He was busy keeping our family afloat, so, you know, wasn't really there to pick me up and stuff. Over 100 kilograms, you can handle the cold. Alright. I mean, I don't know what weight has to do with handling the cold. I mean, shit. I know some small guys who handle the cold better than me, and some bigger dudes who, like... You know, you act like you're spraying them with a fire hydrant. Yeah, but if you got cold tolerance, that's good. I don't like the cold. I think cold's okay. I've kind of grown used to it. You know, but it's not my preferred temperature. I much prefer, like, nice tropical 90-degree heat. Or like 140 zero humidity weather like the desert. Oh man, let me tell you, that was like my favorite. Being out in the desert was amazing. Excuse me. If that's one thing I miss about the Middle East, it's how damn hot it was. Ayo, finally. Slap that bitch with the ice beam. Oh, or just that. Junctura's frozen solid. Suck it, bitch. God, Ice Beam. I miss Ice Beam. Ice Beam and Blizzard. Whew. Great moves. Great moves. Once we get this thing to level 30, maybe level 32, we'll probably take it over to Pokemon Mansion to grind it out. To hit level 51 like everything else. Lucky you have a shortcut to avoid your parents. Why you want to avoid your parents, man? You don't like them? Or you just don't want people to see you at school with your mom and dad? Man, I wish I got to spend more time with my parents now. My dad and I are like 4 hours apart. I never get to see him. But then, on the other hand, it took a long time for him and I to have a good relationship. I get it. But my dad was... I guess everybody liked my dad. He was, I guess, a cool dad. One time somebody cut him off in the street and he yells out of his car window, he's like, "You stupid fool!" And everybody knew him after that because everybody's standing outside. Oh man, he became a quoted thing in our fucking school for a while. Yeah. It was also fun to bring my dad to like, parent-teacher conferences and, like, parents' night and stuff like that, because my dad was a single dad, and, he's always worked for the government in some capacity, same as I kind of have, but he would go over and, he knew it. Why don't they pick me in summer? Why don't you ask him? Why don't you ask him to pick you up in summer instead of just winter? Tell him you can take the winter, but it's hot outside. Maybe they'll agree. Oh shit, all I've got left is a Fire Blast. I hit him with the fire blast. I'm fire blasting Digletts. What a joke. Oh, man. It's the good stuff, though. That's living the dream. Taking a Diglett, giving it the old fuck good pull! That's it. That's how you do it, right? Alright, I think this is the last one, and I don't think Thunderbolt will affect them, so... Summer has been shit after your what? After your ban? What do you mean your ban? What happened? Alright. We're gonna go take Lemon Party and go heal him real quick. Bum bum ba-dum bum. It shouldn't be too much longer, I think, for Nidoking to get leveled. It'd be a bit, but not that much. Called a leader with the furry profile a bitch. Why'd you call him that? Listen, let me tell you one thing. If I have known anything, the furry community are probably one of the few people that will fucking have your back for everything. Man, I have met so many furries in my life, and, like, I'll never talk shit about furries. I may joke occasionally here and there, but, like, when it comes down to it, man, the furry community, they stick to fucking together. Like, you get in a fight and your friend's a furry, that bitch is gonna stick up for you. He's gonna be in the fight with you. You gotta go ahead and deal with some shit, that furry's gonna be at your back. Like, they tend to go ahead and make a lot of money, because them fursuits, they ain't cheap. You're talking, they're dropping thousands on fursuits. You know, they are some of the highest paying commission people, so if you get a commission from a furry for art, it's not a furry community. I'm not sure what you mean, then, with a furry profile picture. I mean, if he's got a furry profile picture, I assume he must be part of the community. Most people don't just go repping the things for no reason. Either way, I won't talk shit about furries. Like, I got nothing but good things to say about them. Sure, yeah, I mean, you get the ones that are a little bit crazy out there, and, you know, there are perverts, and, I mean, in any community there are perverts, but, yeah, I ain't got no shit to talk about furries. They're all right in my book. She's a retired leader nowadays? Okay, so you wanna tell me why you called her a bitch then? I'll start with that one. I mean, that's more the part that I'm curious about, rather than the, you know, everything else. Also, I realized that, like, my chats aren't coming in instantly, so I'm wondering if I need to make an adjustment to some of my stream things, since the chats are taking a while to actually show up. Excuse me. Hell yeah. Give me that Diglett. Give me that Diglett, dig. Please don't dig Diglett. I find it funny that thing is so... You fucking... Don't you be missing? Fire blast it, my dude. Lemon Party, what are you doing? Jesus. This thing couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. Happy Halloween! Hey! How you doing? Nice to see ya. Community app profiles pics anime for your average Joe's camera flash like me and Fallout 76, etc. Okay. All right. Still curious about why you said what you did. How you doing today, Robert? We're just gonna keep slapping into this wall. I am glad to hear that you are fantastic today. You've joined at a wonderful time. We're still in the training arc. I am getting myself prepared to deal with the Elite Four. I actually just caught my first Nidoran kit going through Route 22 on my way to go to, like, the Victory Road area. Oh yeah, lots of one-hits. At this point, I'm just grinding Diglett Cave for XP. Diglett Cave is what I consider one of the, excuse me. One of the three solid, grinding points in the game. Diglett Cave, I usually tend to go ahead and grind until they're about level 32 to 35. Then the Pokemon Mansion becomes the second grinding zone. And then, depending on the Pokemon itself, it's either right off of Victory Road, because we won't grind in the cave. There's too many scary shit in there. Like self-destructs and stuff like that. So, no grinding in the cave. You either grind before the cave, or I don't remember if there's an after the cave, but yeah. So, Diglett Cave until Pokemon Mansion. Bless you. Thank you. She took someone's privilege away for no reason. The community is dead. I'm sorry to hear the community is all dead, but I don't know. Listen, I don't deal with drama like that anymore. I would rather just leave everything and do something else rather than deal with drama these days. I do not have enough time in my life or beats in my heart to give half a fuck about somebody else's drama. Yeah, I think this should be maybe, what, I should probably get to about level 32 in maybe 20-ish minutes. Then we can head off to the Pokemon Mansion, start slapping around Ponyta and shit. Well, I mean, hey, if you're worried about your parents and everything else, just talk to them. I am a big advocate on talk to your parents, you know? Because, yeah, I would rather the fact that Nintendo just forgot about the old Pokemon games. I wouldn't say that they forgot about them. I mean, they made some remakes and everything else. I think if they were to go ahead and make a Pokemon, like an MMO, like a 3D real-time battle system MMO, I think starting at Red would be the perfect place to go ahead and start at, though. And I think they should just call it, like, Pokemon, Red. And then just have it as a, like a big old MMO where people can compete and stuff like that, and... Yeah, but not like a pixel, like a 3D one, where you, like, take over your Pokemon, you throw the ball, and then the other person throws the ball, and then you get into, like, an arena fighter kind of thing. That would be cool as fuck. You have perfect relations with more than friends. We don't talk about the Pokemon game with lots of bugs? Listen, I don't know about you, but I do sure love my Pokemon games. I haven't played them in over a decade, so it's not like not like I've got the best experience with them, but I don't know, I mean, sure, the originals had a lot of bugs, but take a look at the masterpiece that they did with the programming that they had during the day. They pushed the capability of, like, the cartridge to its absolute limit. Like, so much so that data had to be, like, reused and had to be referenced for other data just to go ahead and do some of the stuff that they did. I mean, Pokemon is... when you take a look at Pokemon as a game, it's a pretty big marvel. It is a pretty big marvel. Somebody actually brought up talking about, forget how it was called. Are you talking about Pokemon Coliseum? Or, Pokemon Stadium? Or... which one? Arceus? Sword and Shield? The one where you go ahead and help Nobunaga take over the world? I guess we'll Fire Blast the Diglett. It's not like I'm using it on anything else. Both of those? Yeah. The new Pokemon... I think I have this discussion at least 2-3 times a week about how I think the Pokemon Company is, like, the worst company to be owning and running this. Game Freak, like, it's cool that they invented this thing. It's cool that they came up with this, and it's cool that they coded it and everything else. But, like, fucking innovate, my guys. Innovate. Change your formula. Change your games. Go ahead and better your coding. Get people who understand how to go ahead and crunch properly. Don't be using the same thing, copy pasta, and just pasting all this shit together. Yeah, Sword and Shield was pretty bad. I've seen a lot of the glitches, but you know what? It's okay, because we're gonna be getting to Sword and Shield someday in the future. Maybe. Maybe. I mean, first I gotta get through Generation 1, which is gonna be long in itself. I mean, we're still in Pokemon Red on the first game. And I think Scarlet and Violet had all kinds of issues with it, too, if I remember. We don't talk about the furry Pokemon anymore? What do you mean? What furry Pokemon? Bidoof? We don't talk about them Bidoofs? If we're talking about Bidoofs, though, like, for real, I was surprised at how good Bidoof was. I thought it was, like, really trash. Bidoof and Zigzagoon, man, are they just underrated. God. Bidoof is the Rattata of the next generation. Thing slaps. But Zigzagoon is the real winner when you talk about it. The bunny, that's the color brown. Oh, you're talking about Lopunny, so you wanna go ahead and talk about the people giving their Pokeballs to Lopunny, huh? Giving it the I choose you, right? You know, helping fluff its fur behind the doors. Showing it what a Pokemon trainer really does. Making it faint. Giving it the old Pokey Flute. I don't know how many more of these I can come up with. Yeah. I mean, I guess nobody talks about it anymore. Listen, they've all moved on to, they've all moved on to the Pokemon that is most humanly compatible. So, no need for the Lopunny when everybody's got their vaporware, right? Ice Beam. One more Ice Beam and we should be good. You know what? Let's do it, just because if it's a Doug Trio, I won't be able to fight it, so... Let's go get this thing healed. There's not safe for work people have something wrong in their heads? I'm not sure what you mean. They make a living just like everybody else. I mean, not safe for work artists are the backbone of the community, I suppose, on the back end. I mean, listen, whatever floats people's boats, I'm not here to go ahead and judge them. If they want to go ahead and, if them and they want to think about boffing their Pokemon, who am I to go ahead and judge, right? Not affecting me. And besides, I feel like I just had this whole conversation that I won't bash on the furry community. Yeah. If they're furverts, sure, they deserve it. But most of the time, I'm not going to be bashing on that. They make Rule 34 on Google. Yeah, I'm aware. I'm aware my fiance is a not safe for work artist outside of her regular day job. So, I am more than aware of what they do. I've seen the actual process. Yeah, plus people pay some good-ass money for that kind of stuff. You seen the amount of money people are willing to pay for fucking Rule 34 of insert whatever here? People pay some solid-ass money for digital dirt pics or whatever. Lemon Party's Thrash. Oh, yeah, because Thrash is a continuous move, right. I forgot about that. I don't normally get things that survive Thrash more than once, so... Yeah, let's just keep fire blasting these Digletts. Best way to go about it. Seen those in my eyes and they make me want to jump about. I mean, to each their own. I'm not gonna like I mean, if that's what floats people's boats, I mean, let them have it, right? It's not gonna kill me, but I get it. It's not for everybody. It's not like that's my thing. No. Nope. I've had my fair share of experiences, but I much prefer my good old flesh and blood. I guess I should let me rephrase that. I don't prefer my flesh and blood. I just prefer my real people. Because I don't want to say flesh and blood. You guys are gonna be like, and I don't want that. But yeah, yeah, tunes and shit don't do it for me, so. But hey, people pay good money for that kind of stuff, so. Besides, once you've been to anime conventions, you kind of have to just bend the rules a little. Like, anime conventions are one of those things that you go to and you gotta set aside your prejudice and stuff like that. Because otherwise the community is gonna just chase you out with pitchforks and shit. You know, everybody wants a place that they can feel, you know, safe and secure and not bothered and whatnot. So, you know, I just kind of let people be. They already get enough, I think people get enough harassment in their everyday lives. Being judged on what they wear, being judged on the way that they speak, where they come from. Just be friends with normal people, don't be friends with Rule 34 people or weirdos. That seems a little judgmental. I mean, you can't judge people based on that kind of stuff. I mean, if you don't like it, that's fine. I was just about to say, you know, they get enough people, like, making fun of them and talking behind their back anyway, but it sounds like that's what you're doing, so... Alright. Yeah, I think we'll just keep thrashing. 30... I guess I could go to Pokemon Mansion, but I don't like even level fights. If I'm gonna go ahead and be grinding, I want to be a little bit above. Just enough to be able to deal with whatever's coming my way. Okay. I don't really have much to say about it, you know, because as I said, I'm not the judgmental type. If you want to be that way, that's your opinion. Hey, welcome back, Bryant. Just you know, back in the genocide caverns and the murder caves, you know, slapping the Digletts, beating the hose. I finally just caught myself a Nidoran for the first time here. I caught it on Route 22. I was actually on my way to Victory Road when I caught this level 4 Nidoran, and I'm like, hell yeah. So I have been grinding it out. I got it to level 22, used that Moonstone on it, got its Thrash, turned it into a TM machine. So it's got Thrash, Fire Blast, Thunderbolt, and Ice Beam, so it's got a lot of the coverage stats that I needed. Yeah. So, otherwise, it's pretty good. Yeah, we're just thrashing about. I want to get it to level 32 or so before I move on to grinding over at the Pokemon Manor, or Pokemon Mansion, whatever it is. Killing Digletts is for some reason funny for you? Listen, it's one of those things I tell people. People don't believe me that I feel like in Gen 1, this is one of the most solid places you can get it. Like, you're gonna get between 170 and 600 XP per battle, depending on what you fight. You're gonna have very high encounter rates because caves were coded improperly. Your Pokemon are probably gonna demolish these things. You'll be able to make, like, maybe a level maybe about every 15-ish minutes. Takes longer, so no Elite Four yet. Probably not. I am thinking either Elite Four tomorrow or the day after, most likely. Just because I'm probably going to have to grind up a little bit more. I'm probably going to end up making my Pokemon level high 60, either 65 to 70. That's probably going to be where my Pokemon sit at. Before I take on the Elite Four. Because I gotta really think about it, like, if I lose the Elite Four and then I lose the rival fight, I am going to have to go ahead and I'm gonna have to start over from the very beginning. So I gotta be a little more cautious with my fights than I would normally be. But yeah, just Diglett Cave until it hits the 32 threshold. We'll head out to the Pokemon Manor, see how well it fares. If it doesn't fare very well against a couple things there, then we'll go ahead and come back to Diglett Cave, grind it to 35, and then we'll head back to the mansion. But yeah, that's basically the plan. But yeah, I thought about actually going into the Elite Four, like, today, but then I realized I probably wouldn't be able to grind everything up. I'd be at, like, level 50-something going into the Elite Four, and then dealing with a rival fight, and I just don't think that would work. We're gonna get a whole bunch of full restores before we go in. Full heals as well. I mean, full restores should cover everything. NATO is broken, though, with the Horn Drill and the X accuracy for a 100% hit. I didn't even consider that, but I don't have the option for Horn Drill, so we're going with the, more useful 120 Thrash. Thrash is just very solid. As a 120 attack, yeah, it gives confusion, but I can always switch out Pokemon right after I knock one out, so there's no point in worrying about the effects of Thrash. Pokemon lore be like some guy drawing things. Is that what it feels like? Some guy just, like, making stuff up as he goes? I mean, technically, that's how it goes. Making stuff up as it goes, but... Alright, let's heal up, then we'll go... You know what? Let's go over to the Pokemon Mansion now. We'll just fly there, and then... we'll save out here. I didn't even know about the X accuracy thing. That would have been really... that'd have been really good to know. Oh, sorry, I was hearing something. It's just pipes moving around, moving water and shit. No, get out of the Pokemon Center. I don't want this. Alright, Pokemon Mansion. We're gonna see if I am a-okay to grind in here, or if it is going to be 3 more levels before I come back to this place. I should be okay. It's resistant, so... we'll go Ice Beam. Oh, okay. Ooh, I don't like that. We'll just double Ice Beam. Forgot how long this game is. This theme is just to OG. Yeah, it is definitely a long game. For some odd reason, after 1X, it's just 100% of the time some kind of bug. I wish I had known that and kept Horn Drill. Well, does that work for Fissure then? Because if that's the case, I mean, I could definitely teach Fissure to somebody. I've got one from Giovanni, so... let's just go heal. I don't want to accidentally get stomped into non-existence. Yeah, I mean, the people could probably finish the game pretty quick, but, you know, in a Nuzlocke, I've got to be very careful about what I do with my Pokemon and how I attempt certain things, because I can't lose one, otherwise I gotta release it, so... think so. Why don't you try it out if it works? Yeah, I'll probably go buy some accuracy. Check it out. But I also, like, I could also just look it up and see if that's how it goes, rather than test it out on my own and accidentally lose a Pokemon or something. That's the one thing about this place. The encounter rates are super low in this area. I mean, the trade-off is the high XP, but, like, overall the encounter rates are so low. I would have already had, like, 3 Diglett encounters by now. Fair. You always have to be a higher level than the enemy, otherwise it moves, always fails. Also, little known fact, if your opponent's speed is faster than yours, you will also always fail. So yeah, having a higher level is good, but if you're not faster than your opponent, you too will fail. That's why the ideal mon to use any of those moves is actually Diglett with the Fissure. Just because it's got a very high base speed, and it'll still be able to hit the one-shot kill, so... Pretty phenomenal one. That's why I was kind of hoping to keep the Diglett, but, you know, it sacrificed itself to keep one of my other team members alive, so I'm not gonna complain. Man, this cranberry juice sure is delicious. Thrash or... I guess I'll just hit it with a Fire Blast. Or just not hit it with the Fire Blast. Jeez. This thing is weak. This thing is horribly weak. Like, I'm kind of wondering, because obviously it's a good Pokemon, that Thrash is fairly solid, but like, 76, 74, its defense is its lowest stat. I mean, it's just overall not the strongest Pokemon, so gotta be very careful about it. Luckily, I don't have to worry about, I don't gotta worry about getting poisoned, because this thing is. Brought that history book you recommended. Good read so far. I love it. That is such a great history book to me. It's so interesting because you don't think about it. We tend to go ahead and when we think about ancient Greeks and Romans and stuff, and, you know, warfare in the ancient world, like, we consider it as, like, this noble thing where everybody stood in a row, ancient duels, spears in hand, shouting for the honor of your country, when, like, really, warfare is warfare, and if you're gonna get the upper hand, you're gonna poison somebody's watering hole and put a snake in their boot. I mean, that's just the truth of the matter. You want to win that fight? Who's gonna fight fair? Alright. I'm within, like, possible crit range, so we're just gonna go heal. Yeah, I have quite a few history books I can recommend. Depending on what you're into for history. A lot of my history books revolve around either World War II or like ancient China and Greece. Man, ancient China's got some phenomenal history too. I just have a lot of like encyclopedic style books. I don't know, I spent a lot of time reading as a kid, and it just instilled a love for printed stuff. I've got all kinds of histories, from the history of rock and roll, up to histories of the world, tell you why books, history of bodybuilding and exercise, that everything you know about sex is wrong, a history and encyclopedia, like all kinds of stuff. So I just kind of collect books here and there. It's mostly, I like mostly mythology, but also wars. Then I might actually have another recommendation. I'm gonna have to find it on my shelves somewhere, but, I definitely have a couple books that I think you would like if you like mythologies and wars. I think the history of the Vikings and how they got their names and what they actually were like and stuff, those are pretty interesting. They've got quite a backfill of history there. Plus the fact of how Christianity leached into a lot of the pagan religions, and in order to get them roped in to Christianity, entwining some of their beliefs or taking some of their things, like, you know, the almighty history of the Jesus tree, and how we get our gifts under the Jesus. Cool, I got scared there. How we get our gifts under the Jesus tree, you know. Stuff like that. Or, you know, the intertwining of the pagan goddess of fertility, and how it relates to Easter and things as such, you know. religious history is pretty wild when you get down to it. There's a lot of things that it always blows my mind that everywhere in the world, no matter what religion you decide to go ahead and research or talk about or believe in or anything, every single one of them has a flood story. That's crazy. All of them having a flood story just blows my fucking mind. What happened that everyone in the world has some type of flood myth? Like, even if you're not religious, I guarantee there's some story out there about the floods. The floods. Do you know the way? Anyway. Yeah, I've also got some really, really old books in my collection, too. Some real collector's items. Let's see, I have a vintage copy of Brave New World. I've got some really old, like, Virginia legislation books from, like, really old, ancient books. They're, like, 150-something years old. I think somewhere around the house I have a signed Harry Potter somewhere. It's somewhere, I don't know where the fuck it is. But, like, I've never really considered a lot of these books sacred. I'm not one to go ahead and lock them away or anything either. So, sure, I know they have value and everything, and protecting them would be an investment, but at the end of the day, I'm getting it so that I can have it. If somebody wants to buy it from me and they feel like the value isn't there or they don't feel like it's worth it, then clearly they didn't want to buy it. Always fascinated by Egyptian gods and stuff. Used to remember most of them by name and what they did. Yeah, the Egyptian gods have a really stacked pantheon. Pretty interesting stuff there. The fact that I can't even take out a coughing with Thrash is embarrassing. See, you know what I think would have been better? If they had made Thrash a slightly lower power move, but increased its defense when you use Thrash. So that way you get the added defense added in while Thrash is active. You still would get the, you would still get the confusion effect, but, like, being able to use Thrash without worrying about getting OTK'd right there would be kind of nice, but... Also, I don't know if you've played any of the mod hacks of, like, Pokemon or not, but, like, whenever I look up stuff for Red, I always see people talking about Radical Red. And I know it's, like, a mod that a lot of people use, but I know nothing about it, and I'm just curious if you might have heard of it, or know why everybody chooses to do Radical Red over any of the other possible, versions or whatnot. Or anybody for that matter. If any of you guys out there know why people choose Radical Red, please let me know. Girlfriend's really into World War II. She's reading a lot about Anne Frank and watches a lot of documentaries. I assume then you have already seen Band of Brothers, as it is, like, the go-to thing for, like, everybody whenever they bring up World War II. Yeah, Luft really likes Band of Brothers. It's interesting because World War II is big, because obviously it had one of the largest events here in just history. It involved the entire world and everything. But I've kind of grown to really like and appreciate the history of World War I over the history of World War II. Weird sentence to say, like, considering no one should really like war, but I mean, it's the primal instinct in all of us. We all want to know about it, but... World War I was just... Radical Red is really difficult and includes most, if not all, generations. That's why it's so popular. Ton on DVDs. Yeah, we have it on DVD as well. But World War I was a wild time. Like, no restrictions on type of things that could be introduced into the war. The Spanish flu coming out and almost wiping everybody out. You know, no real regulations on how things could be made. No real rules on what you could do in wartime. World War I was an absolute fucking fuckfest when you get down to it. You want to talk about scary? That's like insane, the kind of stuff that came out of there. And no one gave a damn because everybody was trying to figure out how to go ahead and end it or do the most destruction and everything. With zero regulations, all kinds of shit came out of World War I mean, just think about it. The war was just so devastating, aside from just the cost, that more rules for, like, armored engagements and war just had to be put into place because of how devastating it could have been. I mean, how devastating it was, but... yeah. Frankly, World War I think, is the, more interesting of the two, if I had to get down to it. It took me a long time to really appreciate what World War I had to offer over World War II. In terms of, like, history and stuff. I hate that it runs away scared. Tiny little dog, and it just roars, and suddenly I'm skirt. Also, I'm gonna have to learn about, like, Pokemon, like, what's it called? Personalities and stuff, because I know nothing about that. That didn't exist. God damn it. Alright, after this fight, we're gonna go heal. Because 65 is okay, you know what? We're just gonna go heal. That's my sign right there. You know what? I should look this up. So that way I can stop avoiding wheezing if that's the case. In Pokemon Mansion, use self-destruct. You mean Nature's? Yeah. I don't know anything about Nature's. Let's see. Does nullify sex self-destruct, wheezing. So it learns self-destruct at level... I don't know about wild ones. That's why I worry about it. Let me take a look. Gen 1... So it learns self-destruct at level 43, but the problem is that I think Koga's knew it, and it was much lower level. So that's why I'm concerned about fighting, it. Because I don't know if Wild Weezings can use self-destruct in the Pokemon Mansion. Or if they do. Alright. We'll keep going. Do you play a competitive ever since XY within VGC format? I've always wondered about a lot of that stuff. I've been out of the scene, and I haven't played competitive anything. The last time I played competitive Pokemon anything was the Pokemon card game. But, you know, that was back when Haymaker and Mr. Mime, Alakazam was the big deck. when you would just pull those out and use your Mr. Mime to pretty much stop everything and then just move damage counters around constantly. Knock out their bench Pokemon. Because most people would go for the high power stuff, and Mr. Mime was just so overpowered with its Pokemon power ability. Yeah, we'll just keep thrashing. Good old coughing. We'll hit it with a Thunder Smash. And TCG. Yeah, TCG was my big thing. You know, I have always loved trading card games. It's one of those things that, like, I have trading cards from Pokemon, and I've still got a lot of my original Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. Back in the day, I remember that I used to go to this store out where we were. They were one of the few places that still had them. But this guy would order in original original Yu-Gi-Oh packs. Lol Mario. This guy would order original Yu-Gi-Oh packs from Canada, where they were still producing some of, like, the original Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. And he would sell them for, like, $3. So I was sitting there getting, like, original Blue Eyes and Magic Rulers and Metal Raiders packs for, like, nothing, and pulling, like, Secret Rare Jinzos and, you know, Black Serpent Dragon or whatever it was. You know, that was super cool. Let's see, I played the Naruto card game. I played the Dragon Ball card game, the Final Fantasy card game. I've played... I looked away for a second and I almost died. Magic the Gathering is kind of one of those things that I've played for a very long time, but I don't know so much anymore. I would sell my Magic collection if I could find somebody who would buy it for a good price. My Magic collection goes all the way back to Ice Age. So it's a pretty substantially large amount, and I've got a box of pretty much every set going back all the way to Ice Age. I always purchase one box for collection and then open one box. Mainly, I don't really play it nowadays, so I'm sitting on a lot of those Masters and Double Masters sets that I don't know what to do with, but yeah. I kind of miss those days. No real trading card games have ever really caught my eye anymore. I have a lot of collectibles. I'm trying to, like, personally, I'm trying to get rid of, like, all the pops that I have. I really don't want them anymore. I've got all kinds of pops, everything from, like, Disney, some Overwatch, some Blizzard exclusives, some exclusive Marvel pops, a couple chases. You know, I've got some things here and there, but really, I don't really want any of these anymore, so if I could sell my pops, I would. You only played VGC in Pokemon and TCG and Yu-Gi-Oh! Never really got into MGG. MCG was one of those things that lived in the background for a while. I mean, I really liked it. As I got older, I really came to appreciate it. I collected over the years, and, you know, even when I was young, I understood the value of collectibles, so I have so many. Like, right now, I'm trying to go ahead and buy myself a house, and I think all the collectibles I've gotten over the years are the key to that. If you know anybody who wants to buy a life-size replica chain gun from Gears of War, please let me know. Yeah. I don't even know why I have some of this stuff. I just do. Magic the Gathering art books. There's actually an art gallery out this way where the guy who does a lot of the artwork for like Dungeons and Dragons, he actually has artwork out here for sale. So it's possible to get his stuff like $3,000 a painting. You can have an original artwork that was hand painted by the guy. Yeah, I live just outside of DC, so I get a lot of opportunities that aren't normally available to everybody just because of our location. I have like first 5 sets of the Pokemon TCG. Yeah, my binder is nearly complete first edition of Basic, Fossil, and Jungle. I mean, it's got some pretty valuable stuff in there. I'm sure that if I ever got it graded, I could possibly sell it, but I would much prefer to find somebody to buy the entire binder outright rather than piecemealing out the collection. Oh, I should have gone for the Fire Blast, because, like, Fire Blast is not going to do a lot of damage to stuff out here. Yeah, we'll do it next time. Next time I see a wheezing or a coughing, I'll hit it with the Fire Blast and then the Thunderbolt. I like to imagine when it thrashes, it's just over here doing the mosh pit dance. Just swinging around. Base, Jungle, Fossil, Rocket, and Neogenesis. I think I actually have a couple from Rockets and stuff, but I don't know if I have anything really past that. All the Pokemon cards that I collected over when I got older, there was a guy that, when I was still stationed in Utah, there was a guy who, he played Pokemon competitively and stuff. He was in a league out there, and I used to play MTG. But both of us were really good at drawing cards for the other. So he would go ahead and buy Magic the Gathering cards, and I would buy Pokemon cards, and we would open our packs, and then we would just trade among us, because neither of us cared about the value of whatever it was. If we needed a thing, we just asked the other person for it. Like, it didn't matter to us if we were trading a $100 card for, like, a $20 card. It was just more of a, I had the capability to draw Pokemon, and he had the ability to draw Magic stuff, so we just knew that one or the other was going to draw something, so we didn't worry too much about price, just kind of gave it up if he needed it. It was nice to have a group like that. Out there in Utah, it was really big competitive Magic too, so like, you had a lot of people who had Magic the Gathering teams, because Utah was kind of in the middle of a lot of different areas where the Grand Prix and stuff. So competitive Magic was really big out in the Midwest. I think Vegas was where they had a big Grand Prix. Colorado also had a big Grand Prix. There were a couple in a lot of the surrounding states, and Salt Lake City also had one, so a lot of people would come out to the Midwest to do championship stuff out there. Yeah, I really kind of wish that I had taken Pokemon a little bit more seriously when I was younger, because I think I had the skill to actually win in competition. But, like, a lot of that stuff was, I don't know, it wasn't the same when we were going through. You were playing card games, people were making fun of you. Nowadays, I think the kids have it pretty damn easy. They can watch anime, and anime is cool. They can play D&D, D&D is cool. They can be a nerd, and nerds are in. Like, yeah, it's a whole nation of inclusivity where we didn't have that. You still go to Yu-Gi-Oh! Locals every week? They still play Magic 2, usually 16, Yu-Gi-Oh! 22. 16 people, Yu-Gi-Oh! 22 MTG. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I would like to go ahead and find people to play with like that, but these days I neither have the time nor the willpower. If I have off time, I spend it working on my, I spend it working on the Gundam game that my friends and I have been developing. So, we wanted to find a way to get people to be able to use their, Gundam models for more than just display. So we designed a tabletop. I'm not sure if I've talked about this before. I'm sure I might have. We just started designing a tabletop. So, yeah, it's been pretty fun. I just do that in my spare time, put together Gundam models, and then work on the rules. I'm a little bit of a... Yeah, I live in the Netherlands, though. How it is where you live. Out here, it's not as... You know, it's a lot of the kids who end up doing this kind of stuff, but... I'm out near the east coast of America, and I'm right outside of the nation's capital. So where I am is very politically charged and not so friendly to nerds and stuff. I do think it's pretty cool that that everything's kind of just become that way, though. A little more friendly to it all. Yeah, I was looking at my stats, and surprisingly, the Netherlands is the third most watched country on my YouTube. It goes the United States, Italy, and then Netherlands. It's pretty interesting to see the stats. And actually, when I was playing Ark, New Zealand actually used to be one of the highest watched places. That was really cool to see. Play D&D once a month? Nice. Yeah, I'm one of those people who is forever DM. I had a really cool idea for a kobold, but I'd have to find somebody who's willing to work with me on it and who would allow me to make small exceptions. Basically, kobolds, obviously, they have a natural affinity for, like, traps and stuff. And I kind of want to work that into the backstory of how my kobold would work. Because I don't want to have to play, like, Artificer or something just to be able to use traps. I'm a fucking kobold. I should know how to use them as my natural affinity. It's just part of the kobold tool belt. But I wanted to play a wizard, who doesn't know how to go ahead and cast magic himself. But he does know how to make traps. So, he would make... Oh, there ain't no PP for those. He would make these traps that would take the components for a spell, be able to write down the spell on the thing, and then be able to cast spells out of the trap. Like, so the spell would have to be like triggered, just like how rune spells and stuff are. But I could never go ahead and actually cast a spell, which is a humongous downside because I'd have no way of using it outside of triggering traps. And I think that's a good enough trade-off that I could find a DM who would be willing to work with me, but I just gotta find one, you know. I've thought about it long and hard, and I think the downside of never being able to cast a trap or cast a spell from myself and only being able to trigger them like runes is a great drawback. I tend to, when I come up with ideas, I tend to like putting restrictions on them. I feel that if a spell is broken or if something is too powerful, then there should be some kind of restriction or something that stops it from being that way. I don't like playing broken builds, nor do I like playing broken ideas. I think some of them can be fun, but I'm more themed than anything else. But Kobolds are my favorite thing in Dungeons & Dragons. It's very interesting because kobolds are not like, they're not just the generic monster. A lot of people think of them as just roaming around the dungeons and everything else, but, you know, kobolds don't like sacrificing themselves, but they do it for a reason. If you see a kobold, you're not seeing the other 70. You know, kobolds kind of have that naked mole rat mentality, that they will sacrifice themselves for the good of the colony. So usually when you're seeing kobolds, there are other kobolds that are running for their lives or things like that, and those kobolds are taking the sacrifice to make sure that the colony can continue. So, kobolds have just been one of those things. I also have, you want to talk about ancient history stuff, I also have a lot of first edition and AD&D stuff sitting on my shelf as well. We have a place called Second and Charles. It's like a secondhand store, and occasionally they get in some absolute masterpieces of like Dungeons and Dragons stuff. So yeah, I've picked up a lot of my like original Dungeons and Dragons handbooks, AD&D handbooks, original DM guides, modules from back when. Let's see, what do I see from here? I have a couple of like monster manuals, like really old ones and stuff too. The good books. The Book of Vile Evil, I guess, whatever it was called. I think it was an expanded book of, like, of the monster manual, and I remember seeing it before, and people used to call it the Good Book, or the Book of Vile Evil. But, yeah, I've got some pretty cool stuff for Dungeons & Dragons. I'd like to actually play a first edition or second edition game sometime. I've heard that it is near impossible to keep your characters alive, but I think it would just be fun. You know, playing Warhammer, I am very used to the rules of attrition. Personally, if you want to ask my opinion, what I'd like to really play, I'd like to find a group to sit down and play some Rogue Trader. Man, I loved Rogue Trader. That's the, Simrel, go somewhere else. Go somewhere else. Don't sit there. Go somewhere else. Excuse me, go somewhere else. Don't sit there. I'm scratching my leg. I'm not petting myself. Calm down. She's over there looking at me. Simrel, I just told you not to sit there. Go somewhere else. Still find it funny that nerds used to be bullied back in the day. They're all cool and fun. Yeah, it blows my mind that nerds used to be like, you know, you used to say stuff like that, people wouldn't give a shit about you. But, you know, thanks to things like Stranger Things and, you know, media and Critical Role. Like, God, Critical Role really changed the face of just nerddom in general. That and Geek and Sundry. It's just wild. Completely wild to think that, like, back in our day, you know, you get thrown around or bullied for it, but nowadays... Did I beat Giovanni? I sure did! I am currently just grinding. I managed to catch myself a Nidorina or a Nidoran on Route... Is that wet? Why is that wet? Okay. My pen was wet. Haha, my pen was wet. Anyway, yeah, I managed to catch myself a Nidoran, a level 4 one on Route 22 on my way to Victory Road. So here I am, grinding it up. Yeah, Giovanni wasn't too difficult. I pretty much just one-shotted my way through it, the same as I have most of the other stuff. I was all scared and worried, but... Yep, now we're doing the thing of grinding. I think it's gonna be fun because once I get off of here, I'm probably gonna go play some Ark. I love Ark. I spent so much time in Ark, and it's like Survival Ascended has reminded me of why I really loved Ark in the first place. If you guys ever catch me on there, feel free to say hello and whatnot. Like, starting out's plenty easy, and I think most of my community knows I'm pretty open about how I play, and I'm very straightforward with how I play Ark. I don't ever mind playing with viewers and whatnot. The only thing I ask is please don't inside me. You know, if you want to be part of the crew or whatever, that's all up to Luft. It's her tribe, but at the end of the day, it really is more for our enjoyment, and you can get more. If you want a dino, instead of just trying to take the dino, just ask me for a baby and take the baby. It's much easier, I promise. You will get substantially more dinosaurs out of me than insiding the crew if you just ask to breed the dinos and take it. Like, I'd be more than happy to give you dinos rather than have you steal them in the night or whatever people do. God, this feels so slow. This feels like such a slow way to level. This is horrendous. Downloaded Ark a while back, but I didn't have space on my PC. Oh, I get it. Ark is huge. Well, I think original Ark had a massive file size. Ark Survival Ascended is much smaller, if I remember. Yeah, I think the file size is much smaller on Survival Ascended. I think it was like 70 gigs for Survival Ascended, and as long as, you know, you have a graphics card that existed sometime within the last 5 years, your computer should be able to handle it on the lowest of settings. Which is still fine. It still has the same look of Ark, even at its lowest settings, so... Yeah, Luft and I think I had close to 3,000 hours from when I put in the How Far Can I Get in the Year series. I had 2,890-something hours, I believe. And then I never played Ark again. That was it. Shut it down. Didn't touch it. That was all. What's the difference? So... Ark Survival Evolved. Number one, the servers have shut down for Survival Evolved, so you couldn't get in even if you wanted to. Survival Evolved was the original one. Survival Ascended is the complete remaster. So Survival Ascended has been brought up to Unreal Engine 5. So the graphics are stunning if your computer can handle it. And if not, it just looks like Survival Evolved, which, you know, who cares? Complete server resets. All of them. All the official servers have been completely reset. So everyone's starting out on even keel. You don't have to worry about other people being ahead of you because, you know, no one's ahead of anybody at this point. Yeah, I guess that would mainly be the big difference. They've reset everything so everyone's starting on the same grounds. There's no hyper dinos, there are no giant, like, million mutation monsters out there. But, so the island, I think, and the island and the other maps are the only ones that are available right now. They will have all the expansions, which will be free later. But yeah, that's mainly the difference there. We'll just go for the Thrash. I'm probably not going to make it because it's going to roar at me. Oh, hey. Perfect. Let me see. 4,000. 3,000. Yeah. That's basically it. It's just the island, better graphics. They've also changed a lot, so a lot of the caves that we're used to got a completely big redesign. The dinos themselves got an update. Some of their abilities are different. Spawn points are a little different as well. I'm so glad that people fucking understand how good the Beelzebufo is these days. Let me tell you, I have sung the praises of the Wild Frog for so many months. Many years. Yeah, at this point it's been years. I have sung the praises of the Beelzebufo for years now. And I'm so glad to see that people have taken it to heart, and people are now, like, appreciating the Beelzebufo for everything it does. Fast, no oxygen meter, it can convert bugs into paste. Like, it's got so much going for it. Such a good dino. Alright, let me go heal. I'm in scary crit range. I think at 56 I would have been in crit range, but, you know, all it takes is a solid crit stomp, and then another stomp afterwards. You know, all I need is a critical stomp of the flinch, and then that's it. Alright, let's also save here. Good old ponitas. It's such a long, like, grind for all of this. Like, I wish there were better and faster ways to get these things leveled. I know rare candies are a thing. I think there's only 14 rare candies in the game. Sure, I could probably missing no glitch to get more rare candies, but I feel like that kind of defeats the whole purpose of doing this. I have to check it out again. Yeah, I would seriously consider it. It's, I will always sing the praises of Ark as the greatest survival game. I have played many a survival game, but I will always sing Ark as the greatest. It's just, I spent so long in it, and it masterfully does all the things, and it hits all of my qualities. A difficult game where you really have to push to survive and think about what you're doing. A game you can play with friends or against other people. A game where it actually feels like the environment is actively fighting against you. And as long as you know what you're doing, like, you can really succeed in the game. But the difference between a beginner and the difference between a master is huge, and even a beginner who just gets all this stuff given to them won't necessarily understand how to properly play the game or how to succeed in it. So you can't just be given everything off of the bat and expect everything to go appropriately. Really enjoyed 7 Days to Die. Want to learn how to play Ark? You would have to learn how to play it. I enjoyed 7 Days to Die too. It was actually my favorite survival game before I started playing Ark. I really liked 7 Days to Die. My friend and I had a server that we played on for the longest time. We had a nice little underground base that we built in. It was super cool. We just loved surviving against all the hordes that would come through. So we would just dig underground into this base and then just set giant trap rooms. It was always a pain living underground because getting up to the surface and everything just sucked. And we never really knew if it was night or day, so we had to just hope for the best. I really want to fight these Weezings, but I can't find anything online as to if they know self-destruct or not. And it's not worth fighting a Weezing for the extra XP if I just die. God damn it, Weezing. I want to fight you, but I can't because I don't know if you self-destruct or not. I know what level you learn self-destruct at, which isn't the level, but I've also learned that, 1, the wikis can definitely be wrong a lot of the times, and 2, it's just not worth it. Self-destruct just cuts straight through defense. It doesn't give a damn about your defensive number. I've tried, let's see, in terms of, like, survival games, the Forest and Suns are okay. I mean, says level 43. Yeah, but that's the thing, that Koga's Weezing knew it earlier than that. And I know what it says online, because I can see that it learns it later, but I just don't trust that. I don't trust it not self-destructing on me. That's all. And I would rather just lose out on a little bit of gym leaders or cheaters. I would rather lose out on a little bit of extra XP than have something explode in my face. So I'll just take my chances not fighting them and just deal with it. I mean, 500 XP is fine. I mean, what am I gonna get? 800 something XP from fighting a Weezing? Yeah, gym leaders in this game kind of suck. Even in Gold and Silver, they suck. I should probably have used the Fire Blast, because Fire Blast is kind of pointless against most Pokemon in here. Just one more level, I think, will... You can also bring Death Fodder to see if it does have it. I didn't even consider that. But I don't know what I would give up. Like, I do have some Pokemon to give up, but, like, at the level it is, I don't think it's just going to use Self-Destruct immediately. I'm pretty sure that it would go ahead and use other moves, and then it would Self-Destruct at some point. Useful for future gens. Yeah. I mean, I have some Pokemon that might be worth giving up, but here's the thing. At the end of the day, I would prefer just to not give up any of my Pokemon, and also having a Ghost type. Oh, yeah, I completely didn't even consider that. But I don't have a Ghost type right now. And I can't go to the Pokemon Tower to catch a Ghost type because I don't have a Sylph Scope. So, no Sylph Scope, no Pokemon Tower. Why did I just use Fire Blast like an idiot? Just giving you some pointers for the future. Yeah, I mean, it depends really on what I get in my party. You know, since I've got to go through blue and yellow, they're probably going to be a repeat of what you're seeing here. They're probably going to be a near identical repeat of everything you're seeing. So it'll probably take about 2 weeks to get through both of those as well, I think. Ooh, please don't crit stomp or flinch. Alright. Go heal. I think I'll be most bothered by the fact that I'll have to go ahead and get rid of... Like, Pikachu is just not going to be a strong starter. I really hate the idea of Yellow version. I remember Yellow version being, like, the one that I played most often because, you know, Pikachu! But, like, no one gives a fuck about Pikachu. Now that I'm older, I've come to not appreciate Pikachu anymore. It just sucks. The only time Pikachu is good is in Smash. I wonder if grinding on Victory Road might actually be better than grinding in here. I think this is a pretty safe bet, but it feels like the just encounter rates are so low. Yeah, today and tomorrow will most likely still be training arcs, and then the day after that will probably be Elite Four fight. At least that is the plan. Because I wasn't intending to go ahead and get this Nidoran, so I was intending to go ahead and level up my Hitmonlee. Bonita. Alright, is that Thrash gonna one-shot it? Yeah, good stuff. I should be leveling up sometime real soon. Should be less than 2,000. Why did you trade Hitmonlee for Nidorino? Mainly because Hitmonlee was extremely... I could have used Hitmonlee, its attack is pretty good, but overall, I feel like the attack stat and speed stat of this is better. Plus the fact that I have more coverage with Nidoking. Thrash is fairly strong, it's a 120 hit move. Yes, it causes confusion, but if I'm just gonna switch out the Pokemon to whatever I need anyway, it just negates the whole problem that comes with Thrash with confusion. Fire Blast, Thunderbolt, and Ice Beam will cover some of my blind spots. Especially if they send out something to deal with Nidoking, it would just be easier to go ahead and do that. I know that Hitmonlee is an absolute powerhouse when it comes down to it. But I don't know. I felt like Nido King was the better option. Hitmonlee's still sitting in the box anyway, so I can always go get it if it turns out that it's worse. But yeah. I mean, I didn't expect to get a Nido King. I was on my way to go grind on Victory Road, or the grass outside of Victory Road, when I ran into this level 4 Nidoran anyway. Yeah, I had no intention of it, but I didn't have a Pokemon on Route 22, and I was like, okay. You say Nido King? Nido King? Yeah, I've heard it both ways, you know. I don't know whether it's Nido or Nido or whatever. Hey, Superstar Studios YouTube, is that what that is? Howdy, I am doing fantastic. How about yourself? And thank you very much for the follow. Yeah, just kind of grinding out right now, getting myself ready to go handle the Elite Four. So we're getting ourselves up to level 52 to start with. Then we'll go ahead and head over to around Victory Road and start grinding a little more out there. My goal is to be level 65 to 70 before I actually fight the Elite Four. I don't know if this is my first ever Nuzlocke, so I'm sure I'm gonna be overly prepared. At least I hope I will. But, you know, I cannot afford to lose any of these games whatsoever. The challenge does not allow it. Glad to hear you're doing good. Never been here before, but it seems fun. Just got into Nuzlocke recently, and I was searching for somewhere to watch them. Well, you came to the right place, because this is my first time ever doing a Nuzlocke. And I will be doing this for a long, long time. I guess I am coining the term Thanos lock, as it is my personal version of the Nuzlocke. I am going for the coveted Pokemon Gauntlet, which I don't think anyone has been able to accomplish yet. I think it's one of those prizes in the Pokemon world that a lot of people want, but I don't think anybody's had the patience to do. So yeah, I'll probably be doing this for years. I don't think I'll finish this before a year. There's no way I'll be able to finish this in a year. Maybe I can get through some of these generations early, but I mean, that all depends. And I also got to be real careful, because I'm sure somebody's going to get rid of a Mon at some point, and somebody's going to force another thing to use other abilities. A lot of Nuzlockers use rare candies now too. Somewhat risky for future games with EVs and IVs. Yeah, I didn't know anything about that, and I just felt like if I'm gonna go ahead and play this game, I don't know, maybe I'm just crazy and the grind kind of sucks, but I would rather go ahead and just grind it out. I know the EVs and IVs play an important role, which I'm gonna have to learn all about later. But I don't know, it just feels like... It feels like it would be better to do it this way. I've only started one Nuzlocke before, and it was like, let's go Pikachu, because it's the only mainline game you currently have. You can't grind it without catching Pokemon, so I kind of had to ditch the one Pokemon per rule. That's funny. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, I've known about Nuzlockes for a very long time. Let's see, the last time I played a Pokemon game was about 10 years ago. So I'm coming in to a community that I know nothing about, going for one of its hardest achievements, with no real prior knowledge of what I'm doing in this game, having only played Gen 1, 2, and 5. But that's not that unusual for me. My channel specializes in doing extreme challenges. I tend to go ahead and I don't care about the game or genre that it comes from. I like doing challenges that involve either doing something that people consider too time-consuming to accomplish, or people consider too difficult or dedicated to accomplish something. So that's mainly what I do. I like doing challenges. I mean, case in point, I have the world's first non-fast travel completion of Daggerfall. So, Pokemon, because of the show, like it. No, you're good. You're good. You're not old at all. I promise. Doesn't bother me. I was there. Love Black and White too. Yeah, I haven't played it. I own all the cartridges up unto Black and White 2. Well, I own all the cartridges, including Black and White 2, I should say. And I own nothing else after that. I just never had the chance to play them. I'm hoping to get more Nuzlockable games for Christmas, but I'll have to settle for what I got. Yeah, and I getcha. My personal policy is I don't emulate games unless I own them. What I am playing are emulated versions of these games, but I also have the physical copies. It's just, they're kind of a pain in the ass to, like, to get all the software and hardware all together to play some of these old games. They're just not very compatible or easy to get set up, so I find it much better to go ahead and get the emulated versions of these things for some of these more original hardware stuff. And maybe once I get into some of the higher things, I can always use capture cards and cables and whatever else I need. I've got a lot of the equipment for it, just don't really feel like troubleshooting everything. Thrash or... yeah, we'll just keep bolting it. Yeah, I'm in the process of trying to purchase out some of the newer games and everything. I just finally got myself a copy of X and Y recently for the first time. I don't own a 3DS, so I'm gonna have to buy one of those, which is gonna be fun. But yeah, luckily there is a place near us that they tend to have a lot of... They're basically a video game wonderland. I love the place. But they have all kinds of old games, old systems, and things that I can find, so I shouldn't have to worry too much about it. Maybe I should teach this thing Hyper Beam instead of going for the Thrash. I mean, Thrash is 120, and it's overall a really good move, but maybe I should go for the Hyper Beam, and just go straight a straight old Hyper Beam team. Have Snorlax, Nidoking, whatever. Snorlax and King and my Gyarados just Hyper Beam their way through it. Teach Fearow Hyper Beam as well. And maybe teach Hitmonlee Hyper Beam? Didn't even know how to emulate games, but I would be too scared of destruction by Nintendo, even if I knew how. That's one of those things that I understand. I think everybody understands that emulators are out there and whatnot. From what I understand, the rule by law states that an emulator can be used for any game that you physically own. And I do, if, God forbid, somebody comes up and says, hey, you can't be doing that, I physically do have the games. I can actually, like, I can hold these things in my hand if I would like to. It's not like I couldn't do it. Yeah, Hyper Beam doesn't take a second turn if it kills. Yeah, and that's what I would be banking on, is just, Hyper Beaming my way through. Because if I have my team using Hyper Beams, I could use all of my team's Hyper Beams, sack my way through the Elite Four, and then it would be easy enough to go ahead and handle my rival on its own. Or whatever else is left for the Pokemon that I don't have Hyper Beams left for. That's fair. Nintendo doesn't care about fairness, though. Yeah, that's true. At the end of the day, I mean, Nintendo is all about that kind of stuff. I do have to occasionally deal with their, them slapping me on the wrist for one thing or another. I've definitely already dealt with their copyright department a few times. Emulating games is easy. Tried a few ROM hacks. I remember back in the day, and it was funny because I didn't think it would still be around. But there was this, I mean, by there was, I mean there is a website with the name of the drink from Fallout 4's Far Harbor. You know, the name of the competing place. The competing drink to Nuka-Cola. But yeah, it's called Vim's Lair. I love that place. They have a lot of emulations and stuff, and they have games from my childhood. So I think RetroArch is by far the best if you are going to use an emulator of any sort. Yeah. It's a little more difficult to set up than I think some of the other emulators, but it has a massive database of stuff to work with. Yeah. But so far I haven't had too much trouble. I mean, aside from the music, I think that's been the hardest part to deal with, has just been that. But aside, no issues otherwise. And I mean, God forbid somebody come after me about a game that came out in 1998. Holy shit. I think we're well past the point where they should care about that. Maybe they should worry about getting their code together, and instead of slapdashing their game, stuffing some hash browns into a cartridge and handing it to people and being like, "In your Pokemon game." No. Get your shit together before you start worrying about coming after me for playing a fucking decades-old game. Pokemon Crystal Clear, Crystal Legacy both have Gen 2, but different hacks. Yeah, I've seen a lot of the ROM hacks that are out there. I hear somebody for the first time, Nintendo Music giving you copyright issues, using Nintendo Music in every single one of these, haven't gotten in trouble for it. It depends. It depends. Sometimes there are ID claims. Sometimes there might be a copyright issue. It wouldn't be the first time I've dealt with stuff like that. Because of how my channel operates, and because I have such a wide spread, and I do 0% editing or censorship, because I don't give a fuck about editing, it's definitely the downside of my channel. I think a lot of people come here looking for clips, and unfortunately I do very minimal clips and have a lot more long-form stuff than anything else. So, don't... Oh, good. Went for the takedown. But yeah, I have issues occasionally. That's just the nature of the game, I've realized. YouTube and I have a very storied history. But I think I only got into streaming, like, maybe 2-3 years ago total. I've had my channel since 2010, but I haven't done anything with it since then. Only recently I did the how far can you get an arc in a year. Then I started realizing I really liked doing challenges. It brought back a lot of the stuff that I loved about playing video games. Jesus Christ. Why is it so slow leveling in here? Maybe I should just go back to Diglett Cave. Seriously. I feel like I take so much longer to level up in here than I do in Diglett Cave. So, is this the last Nuzlocke stream you'll be doing, or will you do more soon? Oh, I stream Monday through Sunday. And so let me explain the whole challenge, so that way you understand the ridiculousness that is this challenge in particular. The Thanos lock consists of going for what's called the Pokemon Gauntlet. The Pokemon Gauntlet is something that has been theorized many times over. It is a complete playthrough of all of the Pokemon mainline games using the Nuzlocke rules. So, the whole catching one per route, and, if they're released, they die, and the whole blackout, whiteout equals game over. But, It's called the Thanos lock because it spans this gigantic series to go ahead and get to the end of it. I'm like getting all these elite forces to deal with, like whatever big bad is at the end of each of these, and I have to pretty much collect all of these badges. Plus, if I end up failing on any one of these games, I'm gonna have to start over from Generation 1. I am currently on Red, and if I die, even if I manage to scoop all the way on Scarlet and Violet, I will have to send myself all the way back to Red version. More Pokemon streams? No! I mean, it'll be cool and all, but like, I have set my sights on this because I don't think anyone's done it before. I tend to go ahead and pop into the Pokemon Nuzlocke thing. I think I pop in once a week to go ahead and give everybody an update. I just gave my first update, I think, a few days ago. But I don't think the Nuzlocke community cares that much, as I am a, I am kind of a, what's it called? I'm an outsider coming in to come steal the crown. But, you know, to me, it doesn't really matter what the game is or what the challenge is. If I feel I can do it, or I feel that nobody else is going to attempt it, I will. I'd like to go ahead and do, you know, the Kingdom Hearts level 100 Destiny Island, or level 99 Traverse Town in Kingdom Hearts 2, and stuff like that. I'd really like to do a lot of challenges. Before this, I was doing Starfield's the 1,000 planets, scanning everything in the game, which just got, like, people weren't interested, so I just ended up quitting out. And before that, I was doing a Fallout level 1000 challenge, which, it's on the back burner. I may end up going back to it, but my fucking lord, is that boring. Grinding to level 1000 in Fallout 4 is probably one of the most boring things I have ever done. Simral, you cannot, you literally can't get any closer. What are you doing? There's so many wires here. Why do you insist on trying to lie right in the middle of all the wires to get close? There's no, don't yawn at me. Don't try and submit and be like, oh, I'm not doing anything. I'm watching you do it, girl. I'm watching you. You just want to be talked to, don't you? You're just sitting there with awe and admiration looking at me, girl, aren't you? Sorry, my dog, like, she's like an old dog, so she wants to be close, so she will barrel through and knock everything and anything over, lay on top of whatever it is, just to be close. And so she's sitting here laying on top of all of these wires. It's way more intense than any of the challenges I've done. Mostly just done speed running, which might even be Argus. Oh, I think speedrunning is a big challenge. Speedrunners are awesome. Not to mention, most of my records are random Wii games, such as Kirby, A Return to Dreamland Deluxe. Listen, there's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with it at all. I've just found that over the years, my love for gaming has not decreased, but I have found that, you know, as I've become a better gamer, and as new games come out and everything, they feel very stale. And I don't know if you're experiencing or anybody else out there experiences it, but some games, they feel stale. The gameplay feels the same. I feel like I'm going through the same story beats. Yeah, sure, I can do a collect-it-all, whatever kind of stuff, but I mean, that's not enough. I want to recapture the glory that I had when I was a kid. The grinding that I used to have to do to complete my challenges, you know. And I think the Nuzlocke is a perfect encapsulation of revitalizing a game that you've played a million times. You know, these are Pokemon that you wouldn't normally be using. You don't realize how good a Rattata is until you're forced to rely on it to trump through everything on your team as it goes. You know, you don't realize how difficult something is until you have the restriction of it. And I think that's how I got into challenges to begin with, was just really trying to recapture the reason that I love these games to begin with. The sense of fulfillment, knowing the amount of time and effort that I have to put into things. Because I feel like games get a little too washed out sometimes. I mean, there's only so many times that you can play a game and it still feels like the first time you've ever played it. There's only so many times you can save the princess before it starts getting slightly tiring. So, yeah, this is kind of what it's become. And I think that's why speedrunning is very important, too. Just mainly speedrun, I have a chance of being somewhere near the top. Don't see the point of speedrunning Mario Brothers Wii just to get number 67. And that's the thing. And I think that's why speedrunners do it, too. Speedrunners have that drive and competition. They want to go ahead and come out on top. They have found a way to take a game that they've played so many times and play it in a completely new way. You know, you go from just completing a game like The Hobbit to finding that you can skip through a lot of the levels, go underneath, do things you're not supposed to. Revitalizing a game you played a million times. Me, you just beat Let's Go Pikachu last week. That's okay. All good. But you get where I'm coming from. You know, it's about trying to, like, for me, it's recapturing the love that I had for these games to begin with. I've realized that instant gratification has kind of taken away some of the feeling of accomplishment that I've gotten. You know, when I was young, it was awesome to put in cheat codes. It was wonderful to be able to put in whatever I wanted, get all the weapons, infinite ammo, infinite life, go through, just hold down the trigger, turn in a circle, and just go through wherever, and never have to worry about a thing. It was fun. It was enjoyable. Those are times where I really loved the games I was playing. And as I got older, I realized that, you know, I didn't enjoy that kind of playstyle anymore. I enjoyed the difficulty that games brought with it. I enjoyed realizing that, you know, I'm putting in 40 hours to a game to go ahead and do one thing. Or I have to have frame-perfect movement to be able to get through this thing. Or, wow, I have to go ahead and compete against other people on a national board to try and be the fastest at this game. Like, I think the speedrunning community and what I do, we all stem from the same place. A place of competition, of revitalizing, of enjoying a game in a new way that you haven't before. Yeah, that's how I feel anyway. There's only one game that I would speedrun. There's two games that I would like to speedrun. One of them, I think I have a chance at speedrunning, just because I've played it so many times, which is Metal Gear Solid. When I was a kid, I didn't have a memory card for it, so whenever I wanted to play the game, I had to just beat the game. It's the case with Fling Smash, though. Somewhat obscure Wii game grandmother bought when I was young, even though the competitive scene was pretty small. Did make a friend with someone else who was also really good at this little niche game. Trade records back and forth. It was awesome. Now he has a record in one category. I have a record in the other. Can't keep up because my game broke because old. Oh no! No. You're good. You're good. Listen, I always tell people, say what you've got to say. I don't have an issue talking to people. Maybe if I'm lucky, someday my channel will get big enough that it'll be difficult to go ahead and keep up with everybody, so I try my best to talk to people and have conversations and keep as interactive as possible. Because who knows, if the channel gets big, I mean, it's a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing because, you know, I'm able to go ahead and talk to more people and expose myself to more who might be interested in this kind of stuff. But it also comes with the double-edged sword of I may not always be able to go ahead and talk to everybody. I try and keep low point value stuff so that way people can just interact with things if they want to. There are a couple things that I think are like high point values, but if I ever have some obnoxiously point thing, it's usually because it will specifically affect whatever I am doing for a challenge. Such as I think the two big ones that I currently have, which is you can spend a point to force me to use a particular move, and the other one being you could annihilate one of my Pokemon, and I will just have to release it. But those are my two big point value things. I tend to change them up whenever I go into new challenges and such. Yeah. It's one of those things, having a VTuber model, which is fairly new, actually. I just introduced my VTuber model not that long ago. I know there's tons of stuff that I can do, but I really gotta upgrade my computer to be able to handle a lot of the stuff. When Luft and I kind of upgraded ourselves into the future, we had to go for pretty mid-tier PCs. They're high mid-tier, but they're not strong enough to be able to handle everything we want to do. It's pretty much why I only watch small streamers, mainly I come to streams of interactive people I can really get from that large streamer. It's probably why people come to my streams too. I think that people come to people's streams for their personality. I think, like, at the end of the day, you could be fucking doing underwater basket weaving, and people would still show up if you've got a good personality. If you're passionate, people will be passionate about you. People want to see that drive and that love for whatever you're doing. You know, no one came to see me play Ark because I was a good Ark player. They came because I was a complete newbie and they wanted to watch me fumble. And then they stayed because they really loved the conversations. You know, I like to think that I'm pretty personable, knowledgeable, and, you know, kind of an assholeable sometimes, but... I mean, who isn't? I'm not nice, I'm courteous. Yeah, I don't even think of myself as, like, a small streamer. I mean, because, sure, I don't have very many viewers as much as large streamers, but I've never even considered the size of my stream. I've always thought of myself as just an entertainer to begin with. My job is to go ahead and, well, at least while I'm here, my day job is pretty boring, extremely boring. But I wake up at 4 in the morning to go to my job every day, and then I come home, and then I do my stream, and then I have a couple time, like maybe an hour or two to myself, and that's about it. But yeah, I come here to entertain people and to interact. It's as sad as it is to say, this is about the majority of my social interaction that I get for the day. So when people are not here, I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna play the game. And when people are here, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have a conversation. Not very good with technical streams, considering including a PNG model or something, but that's really difficult. My stream setup is just an iPad camera pointed on TV. It actually might not be as difficult as you think it would be. There are plenty of resources out there for things like this. I think PNG tubers are the first step towards introducing VTuber models and stuff. The only reason I got into it is because my fiance, she's a VTuber. So I mean, I've had my little dog as the icon of my channel for ages. We actually just found out where the inspiration for it came from just recently when I got my PS2 back. Only just introduced Nightbot to my streams. I'll test this Sunday. Awesome! Hey, that is good. That is good, because I can't use bots, or I have no technical expertise, and as much as I would love to go ahead and make a lot of improvements to the channel... Hold up, fiance. Congrats, man. Thank you. Thank you. We've been engaged for a bit. We're waiting to go ahead and get a house together before we get married, because both of us agree that getting a place would be a lot more important to put our cash towards than worrying about getting married. But we live together and everything. But it's nice. It's nice. I like it a lot. She does me good. She makes sure that I am doing the right thing. I'm really bad at doing the right thing sometimes, so... It's always nice to have somebody watching my back and making sure that I have, I am pointing towards whatever goal I need to. She supports me, I support her. Yeah. But anyway, I can mush about her all day long, so I'm not gonna do that, otherwise I will. But yeah, she started VTubing a while ago, and she's been following a lot of VTubers, and then she got into it herself, and it was just unexpected. I didn't know anything about it, and now I do, and I figure, you know, I like the idea of just having the model there. I don't really care if it does anything or if people like it or not. I like it. That's really what matters. Might try including a PNG to my stream if I can figure it out. Pretty passionate about arts. That would be awesome. Really? What kind of art do you work on? I assume since you have an iPad, you're probably a digital artist working in Procreate, I assume? See, we'll thrash. Yeah, I doodle. I can do really decent artwork, but I'm mainly a doodler. Just like coming up with whatever. Any type of serious artwork that I'm going to do is going to take a long time. I don't do any type of digital work. I mainly work in ink. Do digital art. Use Medibang Paint because it's free and mostly make Kirby drawings and comics. Oh, awesome. Yeah, Medibang Paint isn't bad. Luft does, in her off time, she used to do a lot of not safe for work art. Not so much anymore, because neither of us ever have time for anything. But, yeah, she used to do a lot of not safe for work art. I try and keep her equipment upgraded whenever I can. Yeah, and right now, we're working on upgrading our computers. So, we're gonna go ahead and do a nice little overhaul, learn a lot about computer maintenance and upgrading, and we're gonna buy the parts and do it ourselves. It'll be a nice project for the two of us. Since neither of us were, like, the greatest of tech savvy. Used to use Ibis. I'm familiar with Ibis, which isn't awful or anything, but can't really do comics when it, doesn't have a good rectangular tool to make panels. I've always thought about trying to do a webcomic. I have a lot of cool ideas that I'd like to turn into a webcomic, but I know just how long it takes to make panels and to make any of these art pieces. So, and I don't have that kind of time. My schedule starts at like 4 in the morning. I go to work. I usually get home sometime between 2 and 3. After I'm done off of that, like, I eat something really quick, jump onto the stream, stream for anywhere between 3 and 6 hours. More likely than not, it's on average about 3 hours. Stream for about 3 hours, so that puts me at about 5 or 6. Get off of that, take care of the dog, try and get some dinner started, take care of any errands I might have to go ahead and run or whatever. My weekends I tend to spend longer on here than my weekdays, but yeah, I tend to head to bed at like, I don't know, 9 when I can, and roll around like an alligator for a few hours. Then head to bed and wake up the next day. So I don't have too much time to myself. I make the best of it when I can. Ooh, do I even have any more takedowns and stuff? I didn't even consider that. Oh, I still have thrashes. Okay, cool. Webcomics take a while, but I don't really set a schedule to make a comment, so it's fine. So I cover comments with my sister all day, so a little more long form to share the internet. Where the internet is a dream come true. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And I think it's... A lot of people have these dreams to go ahead and make comics or to go ahead and stream and everything else. We've come to the point where it's so easy to get into this stuff. Making it big is a very different monster, but it's so easy to get into it. We have the kind of resources that neither of us probably had when we were younger. You know, there's so much support out there for all kinds of stuff. If you want to make art, there's innumerable different art programs out there. You just got to pick your poison and how you feel. There's so many places to go ahead and share images, or to monetize comics, or places to go ahead and stream your content at. Places to make your music along with apps and software and support. Like, it's so easy to get into these things nowadays. Which is why I always tell people, if they want to do it, just do it. The only thing stopping you from doing it is yourself. Sometimes it's just luck of the draw. I mean, I do this because I'm gonna go ahead and do it anyway. I think I really got into video gaming in general, like streaming and such, when I was working with, like, with Extra Life. I was stationed out in Utah, and Extra Life's headquarters is located out there. So it was really cool to learn all about Extra Life and what they do and get involved with it. Setting up a team on base, so that way... So when you're in the military, you have these performance evaluations that come up. They want you to do charity work as part of the package to, like, expand your repertoire, to make yourself look better on paper. So I figured kids are going to be playing video games all day anyway in their dorms. They're going to be in their dorms playing video games, or at home playing their video games and doing whatnot. If they're going to be doing it anyway, get them involved with Extra Life. They can stream with the team. They go ahead and get their charity work out of the way because they're streaming to raise money for children's hospitals. They get to play video games all they want, and they go ahead and make their packages look better when it comes up for performance evaluations, or if they want to go ahead and switch over to the dark side and go to the officers instead of the enlisted corps. So... I thought very strongly about it, and I felt it was the best way to get people into it. You're gonna be playing video games in your dorm? Sign up for Extra Life. You're doing charity work every single day. They can't say nothing about it because you're raising money for charity. Sure, it's unconventional, but... the comic you're working on is basically just a retelling of Superstar for NES. Little story added in. Decided to be a retelling of non-story-based games that I could make up my own story elements. That's awesome. Story's entirely original. That means biting off more than I could chew. I think you'll be all right. If you got a passion and dedication for it, should be fine. Partial set in own story. The end is already in sight, which makes it less daunting. That's good. Man, the biggest part I think about just accomplishing anything is sticking with the goal. You'd be surprised how many people set out to go do a thing, put in some time and effort, and then get discouraged when it doesn't immediately come towards them. And it's like, it's really hard to tell somebody, hey, suck it up, and just continue what you're doing. Like, I think a lot of people have gotten used to the fact that if they want to watch a movie, they can go onto the internet and watch any movie they want. You know, if you want food, you can just go order it. We've gotten so used to, I think, instant gratification. It's really hard for a lot of people to just put the dedication and discipline that it takes to pursue a dream like we all used to. In my opinion. In my opinion. I'm no expert, but that's just how I feel about the subject in general. That's kind of why a lot of my things I think are easily done. I think anybody could accomplish any of the challenges I'm doing. You just gotta be bold and patient enough to do it. But yeah, that sounds pretty cool. I can draw a little bit. Like I was saying before, I mainly work in ink. I like the permanent medium of not being able to go back on any of my mistakes. So I tend to do a lot of ink artwork. I can do pencil work, and my pencil work is very hyper-realistic, but I have to be in a mood to do it, and it takes a long time. I'm especially good at making metal in graphite and such. I really like working with metal as a material on a 2D plane, and I think graphite gives the perfect way to make a metal as a representation. You know, working on the divots that come up occasionally in the things, making sure the reflections come off, whether you want to do a scratchy or gloss or matte feel for metal. Yeah. That's why I really like mechs. I used to draw a lot of machinery as a kid. Although I did watch Luft the other day try and do a picture, and then, like, it was the funniest thing because she's so used to doing digital art. I watched her try and go ahead and backspace with her fingers on a piece of paper, and she just looked at the paper, and then she looked at me, and she was like, "You didn't see that." I'm like, "I sure did." Shouldn't be too much longer, I think, to get to level 51. Considering that this thing was level 4 yesterday, I think I've done a pretty damn good job raising it. Try and stay dedicated to my projects, but I'm producing 1 hour plus videos for YouTube, and it's 75% green screen shots. Nothing wrong with that. Make Kirby plush videos, which is basically just cartoon, but instead of animation, moving around a little plushies and talking for them. Gotcha! Plush content I haven't seen in a long time. The last time I remember, like, plushes being a big thing was back in the area of, Super, what was his name? Super Mario, whatever his name was. I can't recall. But the guy who did Jeff. I remember those back in the day. Anyways, just finished recording in, like, in June. Mistake, like, 90% done with editing. I can't edit worth a damn. Maybe I could just dedicate an entire Saturday night to just non-stop editing. I wish I could have the time to edit or anything. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, that dates me, doesn't it? We're talking about Super Mario Logan, and I remember that. That definitely starts dating me there. I'm 35. I guess I should go ahead and lead off with that, because a lot of times people think I'm like a kid or a young adult. No, I'm a 35. I've been around for a little bit. I never really... It doesn't even faze me, because I think gaming and content creation and stuff is just, like... It's one of those things that, I think it's pretty timeless. Funnily enough, fun fact, my channel has actually been around longer than Markiplier's channel by a couple months. I always like to... That's a really dumb fun fact. We looked it up the other day because I couldn't believe it. Markiplier... I only bring up Markiplier because, like, Luft always says if there is one person and one celebrity, 35, I assumed like 20. Guess it's a compliment. I just sound young, and I tend to approach, like, a lot of things with... If you ever talk to me about stuff, you'll definitely know I am nowhere in my 20s, just because of the broad information and stuff that I have. But yeah, I know that I sound young. I look young, too, is the thing, so I definitely look like I'm still in my 20s. Maybe in my late 20s still. Now hold the girls for having a channel older than Markiplier's. There's quite a few people who have older channels. It's just like, it's always weird to think about it because I don't hate Markiplier's channel. I really don't. But if there's anybody that I get tired of hearing of, it's Markiplier sometimes. When I listen to his interviews, I'm like, fucking shit. I'm so tired of hearing myself answer interviews because they're the same answers I would give. We have a lot of the exact same personalities and stuff. So yeah, it's really weird listening to him go through streams because he would approach things the same way I do and he thinks about stuff the same way I do. But yeah, we have a scary lot of similarities in like our lives. So yeah. Anyway, let me not fucking like stroke my own goat here. It was just more of a fun fact than anything else. And it just kind of gets me on a tangent. If I had only known about... Well, I don't even think I would have been able to get into it. My dad really wasn't big on, like, the internet and stuff like that, and video games and all of that. So even if I had known that it would have been a possible thing that I could have done back then, I don't think my dad would have allowed it. Let me get into that kind of stuff, so... Let me see... 1,500. Hot stuff. A few more Pokemon. That'll be good old level 50. Yeah, what I would hope to do with my channel some point is I have some golden achievements that I would like to do in the future. I'd like to aim for the Blue Bomber achievement, which is playing through, I think, either Mega Man 9 or 10, or... I don't remember which of them has it, but it's one of the standalone Mega Mans that's part of the serial number series, that has an achievement where you go through all of Mega Man without getting hit once. So you have to play the entire game without taking a single bit of damage. I don't remember which one it is, but... You only started in April of 2022, which is longer than you even realized, to be honest. When I started doing it for years, but I wouldn't budge on creating online accounts until last year. Even though there are people under 12. Yeah, I getcha, I getcha. Well, there's no time like the present. I do wish you the best of luck. It is a hard world to break into. And I'm not a big trend chaser. I probably could have gotten a lot further if I decided to go ahead and chase trends, or go after, you know, what I felt would be low-hanging fruit. But for me, I kind of want to just do what I want to do, and I'll be damned if anybody tells me that I have to do something for my channel. That's kind of why I do live streams. I'd love to edit. Man, if I had an editor, I could get so much more done. I think for the first time ever, I can actually afford to get an editor too. But I'd have to go through a whole interview process and contracts, and it would be a long sit down and everything, because I don't trust people to do what they're supposed to without being bound by a document that says they have to. Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff that I'd like to get done, but I need somebody that I could actually trust to do it, is the problem. And Lord knows, troweling through my hours and hours and hours of stuff online is going to be an absolute nightmare. I'm hoping to make a compilation video of some of my ARC stuff, but, troweling through almost 3,000 hours of ARC content is not a death I would wish upon anyone. Including myself. Alright, let's go ahead and thrash. Chasing subs can be fun and make it bigger as a plush tuber. Then again, do I really want to? Well, my distance... it would only distance my relationship with my audience, so maybe it'd be better off relatively small. It's fun. Now, who cares? Yeah, and that's the best part. If you're not having fun, why are you doing it? You know, if you become big, big business comes later. Worry about having fun now and doing what you want to go ahead and do. It's one of those things that, like, I could have probably become a big ARC YouTuber if I would have kept playing it. I mean, I had the biggest growth of my channel. I went from 27... I have a fairly small audience, I think. I went from 27 people subscribed to my channel to 600... well, maybe 500 and change in the course of just the year of playing ARC. And if I would have kept up with it, I probably would have had more, but I didn't, so... I always told people, and people kept saying, listen, you can't do it. You're not gonna do it. And I told them, you get 1 year of ARC. I'll give everything I have towards this game and towards that channel for ARC. But after that, nope, that's it. People didn't believe me, and then I quit. And people were like, what the hell? Yeah. But it's alright. It's alright, I'm not too worried about that. It's one of those things that I feel like if I get into a particular section of YouTube, or if I start doing a particular thing, and everyone comes in for it, they're gonna always expect me to go ahead and do that one thing. My channel's gonna gear its metrics towards that. People are gonna start getting recommended stuff for that particular thing. And I don't want to be a one-trick pony. I would prefer to go ahead and be able to play other things or expand myself out, you know, interact with new communities, get to know new groups of people. And I feel like if I stick with one community, I won't get the option to do that. I felt a stutter in the thing, so I thought it was a good idea to save right there because it just felt the small stutter. Thunderbolts. Making shorts is like a cheat code to channel growth. Still upload from time to time to keep active, but I enjoy making long-form content. It's weird hearing people say long-form content, because this is just me making content. I just think it's so normal to do live streams versus, like, curated content. For me, like, long-form is such an odd word, because I've always thought of this as just, like, regular content. And I know shorts are a big thing. I've seen it. The problem with short... Let me not do it. I'm not going to risk it. The problem that I've realized with shorts is if you would like to go ahead and get your partnership on YouTube making shorts, yeah, it may be better to go ahead and make growth, but once you start making shorts... 30-second ad right as you start... yeah, so, like, I don't know, making shorts is one of those things. It's really weird because I'm not used to hearing it as long-form content. I know that's what it is in comparison to what I do. And I've heard that live streaming a channel is basically just putting a noose around its neck and not letting it succeed. But, I don't know, I've always liked live streaming, and I feel like it's a better option to do stuff. But making shorts and everything is cool. Yeah, your channel's gonna grow. Sure, you're gonna get a lot of views. But, you know, just the YouTube partnership program is really hard to get into with short-form content. You could get your AdSense and stuff like that, but then you won't be able to escape the hole. You'll always be making short-form content. You'll never be able to escape that. You're gonna constantly have to go ahead and get views thousands of views in order to get anything done. I just feel like shorts is a very short-sighted way for them to go ahead and approach. Yes, I know a lot of people will watch a lot of shorts, and I know that it's the future because TikTok kind of upped the game. Feel a bit too unpredictable anyways, and that's how I feel. I feel like shorts are very hit and miss. Unless your channel, like, makes it big, it's very hard to predict what's going to go ahead and go and what isn't. And even then, you'd still have to be, like, you'd be chasing the dragon constantly. There it is. 51. Alright, let me take a look at my Pokemon here. 51, 51, 52, 46. But I can't raise it. I can't raise Razor Whip right here because it's just not a good place for Razor Whip to get raised at. With all these fire Pokemon. 48. I could grind here for not a Rattata, but I don't know if it's worth it. I think it might actually be time to head over to... Well, first, save. Then, I think it'll be time to head over to Viridian and start heading towards Victory Road. Also, random question, but with PNG VTuber lip sync, how does it work? Like, do you have to record your face, or does it just pick up the audio? So I know that it has to do with the synchronization of models, but it requires a couple things. My model itself, and I'll go ahead and pull up my thing so you're gonna hear everything cut out. So my model itself works through something called Mail. Can you get out of here? Works through something called VC Face. VC Face is mainly meant for 3D models to work through. I didn't create this model. I had it commissioned. Inside, it has bones. It has movement that tracks my face through a webcam. So the webcam itself is looking at me, and as I talk, it recognizes the movement and then causes the face to go ahead and move. You know, it's got facial features and stuff like that, like angry eyebrows and tail movements and big eyes, sad faces, you know, super happy, and then really angry modes and gleeful and stuff like that. But there are options for it. When you're doing things like PNGs, I have a program that I use, or I used to use. Let me see if I can find it. The best program that I have seen if you're doing PNGs, I think it's called, like, VideoTube Mini. Yeah, it's called VideoTube Mini. VeadoTube space mini, like small. That's the biggest PNG tubing thing I have seen. It's free. You can get it out there. It is free. They ask for donations and stuff like that, but that is the best software to start with using PNGs. And then it just kind of bounces up and down, has open or closed mouth things that picks up based off of sound and stuff like that. I think it is a great resource for anybody who wants to go ahead and start out. But yeah, this is a little more expensive. I know that 3D models aren't as expensive as live 2D models. A representation of, like, live 2D would be, you know, some of the VTubers out there where they look like they're like drawn or painted versus 3D models like mine does. It's just, the thing is, I don't have a webcam, so I wouldn't even attempt to set up a PNG tuber if I need one. No, I think with PNG tubes, it's more sound reliant than anything else. I don't think it relies heavily on a webcam. That's the reason why people tend to use PNG tubes, is because webcams aren't available or they don't have the option to do so. But yeah, there's plenty of stuff out there like that. Vroid Studio is also an option, but I think that might require a webcam, or it may be sound oriented. I'm not sure. But there are plenty of things out there that you can do. I'm sure if you looked it up, you'd be able to find all kinds of support and stuff for VTubing models and PNG models. It's all out there. It's weird because it used to be in its infancy when Luft got into it, and there wasn't as much support. Now it's way bigger, and you know, even I can get into it, and I have like 0% on understanding of all these newfangled technos. This techno witchcraftery. You're a computer programmer, Harry. Alright, so Viridian City it is. I actually don't recall if my what's-his-name is gonna come at me here before the Elite Four or not. Hey! Welcome back! How are you doing? Run is going pretty well. I've pretty much gotten myself... I've gotten myself ready to go through Victory Road, or at least get to the grass outside of it. I'm probably going to end up grinding these things outside of the grass and Victory Road to like level 55, maybe 56. I don't know what the Pokemon levels are going through the cave, but I'm going to repel the shit out of it, because I am not going to go ahead and deal with self-destruct Gravelers and whatnot. So that's not going to be a fun thing. Alright, I'll probably look into it after I exit the stream. Speaking, do you know what your next Pokemon stream will be? Because your schedule shows the same game every single day for the next 2 months. I'm not sure about that. Sure that's right. Yeah, I'll probably have to go ahead and update my stream schedule. Let me fucking do it right now, because otherwise I'm going to forget. I'm going to get off of this thing and not do that. Give me just half a second. So yeah, I tend to go ahead and do... When I start a challenge, I usually don't stop a challenge. So my stream schedule usually looks like starting anywhere between 2:30 to 3:30 Eastern Standard Time. Usually I go for about 3 hours. Occasionally I'll go longer, but it is what it is. I stream on Twitch, YouTube, and Kick, which I don't expect Kick to go anywhere. My YouTube currently is what I've been really pushing people towards, because I'm quite close to getting my first set of monetization on there. I just need my hours in. I've actually had my hours before, but as I do different challenges, people go in, people go out, and the hours rotate every single day, because they're only based on a year. So, but yeah, my stuff is there. Let me just rotate my schedule. Channel, brand, schedule. Okay. We're gonna delete schedule. Yes, delete schedule. Add stream every day. Tell viewers the ultimate Thanos lock. Nuzlocke. Pokemon Gauntlet Challenge. Category, Pokemon. I'm just gonna update it, right? It makes it so much easier to do it right now, so. Pokemon Red Blue. Pokemon Red version. Time. Let's go for 3 p.m. for 3 hours. Add another. Save changes. Save changes. Save changes. Save changes. Save changes. Save changes and save changes. There we go. New stream schedule updated. Done and done. Yeah, but I'm here Every single day, Monday through Sunday. I'll occasionally go ahead and take off a day. Usually I will put out either a tweet or a thing. The only reason you're watching on Twitch is because you can search Pokemon Nuzlocke and only find streams, whereas a YouTube mainly shows... Yeah, I gotcha. No issues. Ben, how are you doing? How have you been? You've popped in and said, hey, what's up? And then I haven't heard anything else from you. How is life? But yeah, so Nidoking, Lapras, my Gyarados, my Venusaur, which is 46. I have to level this and this. Then Snorlax, Monday through Sunday. Isn't that every day? Yeah, but Monday through Sunday sounds better and rolls off the tongue. I could say every day, but I think Monday through Sunday is a lot just better way to say it. You know, when you can say, I'm streaming every day. Everybody go and check me out, I'm streaming every day is a lot, like, less entertaining than, come on and go and check me out Monday through Sunday, be here, be square. You know, all that stuff. Monday through Sunday just has the rhyme, and people will remember the rhyme more than they will every day. Gotta think of tiny things to market, right? I don't know who this dude is over here. You know what? I'm gonna switch over to YouTube quick, see you in a second. Alright, sounds good. Yawn, I must have dozed off in the sun. I had this dream about a drowsy eating my dreams. What's this? This is spooky. Is it Dream Eater? Don't forget me! That's right. That's right, there's Pokemon who depend on me. That's right. I may as well throw my fucking Gyarados right in the water in its Pokeball. Life's alright, been chillin'. A bit of a shiny hunting, trying to get a Giratina. Nice! Man, that sounds difficult. Sounds like you're just reloading and reloading and reloading and reloading. Dream Eater, yeah. Dream Eater is a great move if you can get the Pokemon asleep. If not, it's pointless. Alright, let's go ahead and drop off my stuff here. Your chair's literally falling apart, so there's that. What do you mean your chair's falling apart? In like a Cthulhu kind of way where it's disintegrating under you? As it realizes that, you know, life doesn't matter and it's just a poor construction of the ground. Alright, watching on YouTube now. Had to grab a quick bubble snag sound effect. Yeah, if you ever want to get some good points, I'll tell you, there are two things currently that affect my model on here. One is big mode, which you'll see it, and the other is light bulb. Both of them have different effects, but yeah, pretty much a lot of resetting. Oof. I don't know if I'd have the patience to go ahead and reset all day. I say as I fucking do this nonsense. I have one full restore. What nonsense do I have in here? X special, escape rope, Mac potions, HP ups. I think HP ups will be good right about now. I think I have a PP up in here. Let's get you some dick pills. Yeah, give me them dick pills. I'll go ahead and grab this repel. I mean, at this point, it's worth pulling out. I think the other repel is better, but Pokeflute, X accuracy. I don't have enough of these things to make it worth it. We'll get the max revive so I can sell it, because I can't revive anyway. Just finding springs and random pieces of metal and plastic. Where are you at in the game, by the way? Somehow I haven't figured it out. I have finished out all my badges. I'll go ahead and do a recap here and show you exactly where I'm sitting. So, I have all of my badges right now. I am just before heading into the Elite Four. I still have to go through Victory Road right now, but I cleared it out. I think at around 30 hours is when I had all my badges. I'm just grinding up my Pokemon, getting them prepared to go through Victory Road. I need to find the Pokemart, which is here. We're gonna sell off some stuff. Any type of revive is just gonna get sold because I can't use it. But yep, I'm on my way to Route 22 and the Victory Road. Is Plombart still alive? Let me see. I've only lost one Pokemon. I don't think it got named Plombart, did it? I think something else got named Plombart. Or I think something else got... I think it was named something else. I don't think it got named Plombart. Because we named it Jacques. Was the other one. I believe he is still there, though. Don't worry, I'm not releasing anything. Yeah, Jacques is still in here. The only reason why I didn't go with Jacques is because I took a look at Jacques' stats, and I'm just going to deposit really quick so we can take a look. You planning on playing every single Pokemon game, or just one for each region? No. The Gauntlet, in order to go for the Thanos lock and to get the Pokemon Gauntlet, I have to play through every mainline game. That means the doubles and trios in every region. So after I finish Red, I'm gonna have to play Blue, and then after Blue is Yellow. But yeah, like, the only reason I didn't go with Jacques and leveling it up is because that special is... that special is so terrible. Like, I really wanted it to be so much better, but that special is so god-awful. I only recently got the last Pokemon in my team, which I was actually headed to Victory Road when I passed through Route 22, and I didn't have anything for it, and then picked up my level 4 Nidoran. Maybe it'd be fun to do a... Shit, yeah, it's Jacques. I don't know what I was thinking. At some point. I think you had said Plombart, but I think you said it after Jacques. And you wanted to name another Pokemon that. Because I remember you mentioning it. Stream a new Nuzlocke. Start a new one. Might be fun. Yeah, I mean, I think they're pretty cool. The Nuzlocke community has been awesome. I am gonna be frank. They have been some of the coolest people since, like, forever. Does that include Pokemon Go or Eevee or even the catching system? It doesn't. I'll go ahead and... I've got a list of actually what it includes here. Let me... Nuzlocke rules. So, it includes Red, Blue, Yellow, Gold, Silver Crystal, Ruby, Sapphire, Fire Red, Leaf Green, Emerald, Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Black, White, Black 2, White 2, X, Y, Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, Sun, Moon, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, Sword, Shield, Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, and then Scarlet and Violet. And that's not including if they come out with a new Pokemon game by the time I get to that point. It is 34 games in total. It's brutal. Absolutely unforgiving. But yeah, that's the only reason I'm not using Jacques, is because that special stat is... It's far too low for me to use it, because I was going to turn it into my HM or my TM Pokemon, but once I got the Nidoran ended up... Where are you? Lemon Party. Yeah, 34 games in total. But the Nidoran, I mean, it may not have the best special, but, like... Yeah, 26 attack, 21 speed with 104 special. It just unfortunately rounded out my team as the Fire Blast, Thunderbolt, Ice Beam, Thrash. Goddamn, good luck with the going through Johto 5 times. Yeah, I'm not gonna be very excited, don't worry, I've thought about it myself. I've actually considered, I don't know whether to take this as the problem, because Ghost Pokemon! Ghost Pokemon! That's gonna be my big issue right here starting out. If I have the Kadabra, it's okay, but like, I may actually replace Razor Whip with my Kadabra, and just bring the Kadabra out for Psychic instead. And instead of using Venusaur, use my Kadabra to just fight my way through it. Imagine if you failed in the 30s? Yeah, I'm already picturing that. I am assuming that I am probably going to have to restart at some point. You should be blessed with an eternity of Pokemon. I hope the fuck not. I considered it. I know that I'm gonna have to restart at some point, so it's exactly what it feels like. Exactly what it feels like. I think I may do that. I may take out Razor Whip. I know Venusaur. Let me see why the fuck people like Venusaur so much. Aside from poison, why is Venusaur so good in red version? Is Venusaur underrated? Oh, actually, why is Venusaur so good in Nuzlocke? Seems like the least useful starter in Leaf Green for mid-game. Let's see, Sludge, Earthquake, Double Edge. Really wish I just picked Charmander. Mankey can take Brock and Misty. The idea with Bulbasaur line is mostly that it carries you through the first 3 gyms and basically any Walker Water Pokemon along the way. By the time you get to mid-game encounters, should give you what you need for gyms. Erica chances are like you have 2 flying types and get that fight. Koga is walled by Haunter Gengar, which is a free encounter in Lavender Town. Sabrina is tough, but you have 2 chances at a Snorlax, which not only get a special wall, but gets recovery, and can learn Johto. Oh gosh, here it comes the theme. Everybody wants to be a master. Oh man. I haven't heard that theme in so long. So long! Master, have you got the skills to be da-da-da? On be the look at talk, I'm broken, Predator! I guess mainly it's just by the time you've hit E4 and final, you've theoretically had enough counters to have answers. Giovanni handled with a combination of Venusaur and a good water type. Pretty much never a reason to pick Blastoise because you'll get plenty of water. Charizard can be later, like late game, but Misty is just a bad matchup. It's not good offense in general. It's enough to get you through the first gyms. Mainly you'll want to switch to Slowbro, so early game is locked down by a guaranteed Bulbasaur. Late game is locked down by a ton of other options. Mid game, surge through Koga. Let's see, Diglett, Erica, finally Koga. Leet Seed is incredibly for catch assisting, allowing you to do chip damage. Bellsprout and Oddish Turbo suck. Man, I wouldn't have known. Venusaur is bulky, resists many attacks, easily brought down. Sleep Powder substitute Leech Seed. Grass resists electricity. While you're not very effective against poison types, you are a poison type yourself, so you can't get hit by Toxic. Leech Seed is an amazing move for tough battle games and a lot of Mons. Yeah, I guess I guess Razor Whip is goodbye, Razor Whip. No point in using you. And we'll just, it's time to duel. I guess I'm gonna have to level up my Kadabra, so... I thought I was going to the thing, but it looks like I will be spending more time in Cinnabar grinding again, I guess. I'm sorry, guys! I thought I was gonna go to the thing today, but I guess not. What's tomorrow? Thursday? Okay, so if that's the case, more likely than not, what's gonna happen is I will probably end up fighting the Elite Four on Friday, so 2 days from now, because tomorrow will probably be another grind day, and then on Friday, I will probably end up putting the last of my training session on Friday, and then fighting the Elite Four later that night. That's most likely what's gonna happen. But, yeah, figured I'd let you guys know. Anyway, guys, you guys know what time it is. I am probably going to go ahead and cut off for today. As always, hopefully you guys have had a fantastic day today. Thank you all for the conversation. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the subs. Always appreciated. We'll be back again, as always, Monday through Sunday. You guys know the drill. Yeah, I don't really have too much else. No big announcements or anything. If you guys have any comments, leave them over on YouTube. Get back to you. I'll get back to you guys. But anyway, have a fantastic night. Until I see you all again, stay cool, stay golden.